when you start looking after yourself, the whole of the family starts changing. And that's what it's all about. It's not selfish, it's crucial.
Welcome to Young and Limitless. So recently I did a summit called The Calm and Confident Mum. So the next 10 episodes are from that summit. It starts with the first one, and the guest in that wrote this amazing book. It's called the Teen Toolbox, and her name is Cai Graham. So guys, enjoy listening. Cai is a parent, a coach, and a founder of Peak Parenting. She's also a therapist, and she works supporting families through chaos, trauma, loss, and relationship breakdown. So hi Cai, thanks for coming here early.
Good to see you, Esther. This is it's great, isn't it? All the best laid plans go to pot when sort of, key people disappear, and you sort of think, listen, let's just wing it anyway. So that's cool. That's all right. I am here for the next sort of 30 minutes to talk about self-care. Oh dear, us parents aren't very good at that, are we? We tend to put ourselves right at the bottom of the list because we've got to look after the kids, we've got to look after aging parents, we've got to look after everyone else, we've got to be the best daughter, the best other half, the best mum, the best whatever. And then, why on earth did they only invent 24 hours in a day? Because I need more. And so we just bump ourselves way down. And it's not really very helpful. I am a firm believer of self-care. Why? Because I have crashed and burned many times because I was trying to sort of, be that sort of perfect parent and the perfect everything. And I just, something's always got to give, hasn't it? So, why is self-care important? Well, to be honest, if we don't look after ourselves, it's that old saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah, we've heard it all before, but we tend not to listen terribly much. But if we aren't firing on all cylinders, then when things go a bit sort of chaotic and the kids need us more, or the boss needs us more, or our employees need us more, or our parents or other halves need us more, we don't have anything in the tank to give. And that builds a breakdown in communication. It builds a breakdown in self, a massive amount of resentment. I just remember just getting really annoyed with everyone because they were just sort of taking more pieces of me, and I couldn't recharge my batteries. And I guess that's what lots of other people, we start feeling confused and isolated. So we need to look after ourselves. And to be honest, it's not arrogant, it's not selfish, it's actually vital that we look after ourselves. I don't know about you, Esther, but do you ever sort of feel as though you run ragged?
Yeah, so I hear a lot from mums about mum guilt.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know, it's such a dilemma, isn't it? Because we all know like that whole metaphor of, if the plane's going down, you need to put your face mask on, your oxygen mask on first to help your children, to help anybody else. Okay. But there is such a conflict in us, isn't there?
Because we have been programmed from previous generations, and I'm not blaming it on our parents because they were programmed from their previous generations, that sort of we have to sort of look after everyone else and put everyone else's needs before our own. So therefore we are, sort of socially, it's no, that's a bit selfish, and I remember, in fact, even yesterday I saw a girlfriend, and we just had lunch, and she said, where are you off to now? And I said, I've got another appointment. And she said, are you doing work? And I went, oh no, I'm having my nails done. And she looked at me and she went, oh okay. And she went, right. And she said, do you do that a lot? And I went, oh absolutely, literally as soon as I needed it, but every two and a half weeks. And she went, you do that every week, all the time? And I went, yes. I said, for me, some of you might go, oh really, Cai? But you will have the equivalent that makes you feel slightly more in control, makes you feel as though you've got it together. It could be a good haircut. It could be your favorite boots. It could be your best jacket. It could be, I don't know, your
a massage.
Precisely. And so that is my self-care, but we'll get along to that in a minute. But yeah, about the mum guilt, I just want to spin that. And I want to say, right, okay, do you remember when you were the young child and you were the center of someone's universe? When did that start changing? When did that start changing that, oh, hang on a minute, your needs stopped being top priority? Because, you know, that's what's sort of basically happening, is the fact that, oh no, my needs are now no longer as important as everyone else's. And just stop right there. What message are you saying to your children? Is suddenly when you become a grown-up, you won't matter as much. Now, you know, there are some people who go, well, I don't know what you're talking about, because, you know, sort of a lot of people say that kids' needs are not being sort of, you know, prioritized either. So as a society, we need to start getting our act together. But this is all about self-care, this slot. And really, it's a matter of, well, yeah, actually, if I sort of, if I'm run ragged, if I look, you know, sort of feel hopeless and look sort of distraught, and you know, just look like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards, or feel like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards, your kids will be picking up on that. And they are sort of, you know, one child sort of said to me, I don't want to grow up because I see what my mum's life looks like, and I don't like the look of that. And that is just not the message we should be sending to our kids. So we should be saying to our kids, not I am the leader of the pack, therefore I'm top dog, nothing like that. What we should be saying is, hang on a minute, we're all equal. And what, our kids are as equal as us? Yes. Everyone's needs need priority, or everyone's needs need as much airtime as one another. That shows compassion, that shows respect, that shows love, it shows understanding, because sometimes one child's needs might be sort of, you know, sort of more prevalent, you know, one day, and the next day we need to look after granny, or, you know, whatever it is. But all of it needs to sort of balance and stabilize, and your needs are just as important as everyone else's. So if I would flip that, and, oh, well, I can't possibly put myself first, I feel guilty, I would say, stop feeling guilty if actually you are not putting your needs first, because you are sending the wrong message to your kids. How does that sound?
That sounds really good. I'm literally making notes.
Good.
Yeah, so I love that we put it on ahead, because it is, unfortunately, I know that people don't like the word programmed, but it's just what we've learned from generation from one to the next. And we have the opportunity to break it, just as our parents have broken a lot of stuff for us. It just gets to be better and better as we go through to the next generation, and then the grandchildren.
Exactly. So you're quite right, and it is important to, you know, show whoever we're with, whether it's our family, our colleagues, or whatever, is I matter as much as you matter as much as me, and let's work out and find out who needs to, you know, who we need to look after today, or do we need to look after ourselves, or whatever it is, you know, because that's the way it should be. We shouldn't sort of have a pecking order.
Because a lot of young people, it's quite empowering, because a lot of young people can see, because, you know, they're very aware, and so it empowers them to, like, gives them permission almost to look after everybody else, to look after somebody else, because they can see what their mums are going through, and they almost don't know what to do. They don't even know if they can say something and point it out, because it is that taboo. So I find that really empowering.
Well, it was also quite, because I was speaking to, on one of my one-to-ones, I was speaking to a young client, and she's about 15, and she said, me and mum are just like this, and we're just yelling at each other. And I sort of said, well, I tell you what, actions speak louder than words. I said, the two of you are like this, and you're both wanting to be heard. I said, do me a favor, just do something very different over the next week. And she said, well, what's that? I said, unload the dishwasher. Oh, I hate it. I said, yeah, and imagine your mum hates it even more. I said, just unload the dishwasher. Don't expect sort of celebrations. Don't expect sort of clashing of drums and cymbals. I said, but just do that. Be aware that the dishwasher is just, you know, in your head, dishwasher is my chore for this week. And she did. And she came back and she went, oh my goodness, my mum's so much nicer. My mum's letting me do this. And I went, yes, because we are looking after one another. We are seeing what other people, put yourself in their shoes. And she went, I didn't even say anything. And she's kinder to me. And I went, oh, right, okay, join the dots. So it's seeing everyone else's needs and just being slightly more compassionate for one another.
So if we are looking after ourselves, as we are looking after ourselves,
yes.
what are your top self-care tips?
Well,
how do we know what we need to do?
I'm gonna just sort of spin that a tiny bit.
Yep.
I want you guys to sit there and think of, it's a bit like you've got a house with 4 rooms. This is your brain. Your mind is like a house with 4 rooms, okay? And every single day, you need to go into each of those rooms. It could be for an hour, it could be for 5 minutes, it could be for 1 minute. But every day I want you to think about going into those rooms, each of those rooms. Those rooms are the physical room, the mental room, the emotional room, and the spiritual room. Because if you sort of think about it, we as a person, we have basic needs, and they are physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And we need to feed those needs. And to sort of, if I sort of said, right, all you need to do is concentrate on your physical needs. So that would be making sure you are hydrated, making sure that you have the right diet, less processed foods, less sugar, all that sort of stuff. You need a lot of sleep. You need exercise. And for exercise, it could be, yes, it could be running. Yes, it could be going to the gym. Yes, it could be playing golf, but it could be other stuff. I mean, I've just started hula hooping, for goodness sake. Why? Because it's a bit more fun and it's quick. Do you know what I mean? So it's just sort of finding out those sort of things that feed that physical room. Now, if I only went into that physical room, I'm negating the other 3 rooms, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, and sooner or later, things will get a bit wonky. So it's a matter of going, okay, well, I can't do, I might sort of go for a run one day. So therefore, I don't have so much time and I can't really do the other rooms. That's okay. But see if you can do 1 minute in each. And okay, if we go to the mental room, that is the biggest one. There is just giving yourself headspace. So it could just be, and a lot of people go, oh, don't even start talking about meditation. I don't do that. I can't even do it. I hear you. But even just a minute of breath work just calms everything down and gives you that tiny bit of space. I mean, come on, that I bet many of you have found that when you're standing in the shower, sort of minding your own business, that's when the light bulb moments come. That's when you suddenly think, oh, flip, I should have said that to so-and-so, or, you suddenly remember something because you're not really thinking about too much and you're giving your head that space to sort of think and relax and let the good stuff in. So, just if you can try and do a minute in each. So let's look at the mental room. What am I talking about there? We've done the physical where we're sort of just checking our body and making, don't forget vitamin D, get out there into, when you can, into the sunlight. But if we look at the mental, yeah, we need space. Now that could be breathing. I've got an exercise called box breathing. Many of you will have heard of it. And it's just thinking of a box and breathing in for 4 and pausing and breathing out for 4 and pausing and breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4. And you do that for about a minute and it tells your brain, you can tell I've calmed down already.
Yeah.
And it just tells your brain, it's okay. Just calm everything down and let's have some space. And it only takes a minute for the good hormones to come in, and that gives you that tiny bit of clarity that you might need if someone cuts you up on the motorway. You might need when you pour the coffee over your keyboard. You might need if you've got a screechy teenager that's driving you bonkers, or so-and-so's asking you to do one more thing. And it's just give yourself time to do box breathing. There are other things. many of us forget this as far as self-care is concerned, is that voice in your head. You should do this, you should do that. Why haven't you done this? You're too that, you're too that, this. Oh, come on, for goodness sake, you're absolute rubbish, blah, 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 blah. And it never stops. And so I think the trick is, the biggest self-care is just saying, shh, thank you. Just, I've got this. Is it true? Is this true? No, of course it's not. Right, well, shush. I don't need to hear this the whole time. And the quickest thing, I mean, is when you acknowledge that you've got this voice going on in your head, that really, really helps. And it's go, oh, there it is again. Shh, there it is again. Listen, just park it. Do box breathing to get rid of it. But we don't need that, because that's the voice that puts us down, makes us feel rubbish. Oh, you're this, you're that, you're rubbish. Who do you think you are? And it just never stops. We never speak to our kids like that. We never, or if you do, shame on you. But we never speak to friends like that, or our colleagues at work, or So why do we do it to ourselves? So stop this for a start. It's just not necessary. Mental reading, and since lockdown, my office is upstairs, my husband's office is downstairs, so we get along all right. We don't really see very much of each other until the evening, and that works fine. Yesterday I thought, no, come on, I've been sitting in front of this wretched screen all day, and so I thought, right, what am I going to do? And I grabbed a book and I grabbed a cuppa and I went downstairs and I sat on the sofa and I started reading. He came out of his office and he said, what are you doing? And I immediately thought, oh, what? Yes. What am I? And I went, oh, no, hang on a minute. This is self-care. This is me looking up. I said, I'm reading a book. And he went, all right, okay. But I immediately, as soon as he said that, because his comment was basically, don't often see you down here, but I was immediately thinking, I'm naughty, I'm bad, I'm not spinning all these plates, I'm not sort of doing the things I must do and getting whatever. And I suddenly thought, no, I need time out here. And it's again, getting over the mum guilt of you should. I mean, I didn't sit there for 3 hours. I think it was only about 20 minutes. And then I thought, right, well, that's it. I can go and do whatever else I was doing. But, it's just having that balance and allowing yourself to just do whatever sort of brings you joy. And from the mental capacity, it could be learning. It could be learning a new language. It could be learning to paint. It could be, I don't know, learning whatever. But it's just that stuff that keeps everything sort of ticking over. There are things like gratitude lists. Every day I write my 5 things that I'm grateful for. Why? Because it puts my day onto a much better footing, because I sit there and go, that's not bad. And it could be, thank you for having my nails done, or it could be, thank you for having a roof over my head, or thank you for, I don't know, waterproof mascara, the big things and the little things. And it's just making you appreciate, actually, thank you for my loving family, or the way my daughter unloaded the dishwasher, or whatever it was. So it's just getting your head in that right headspace. The other 2 rooms, the emotional and the spiritual, this is all personal. So, for you, some things might work, and and they might not be the things that work for me. But again, giving yourself space, having that connection with people. So instead of sitting at the kitchen table yesterday having my lunch, I was meeting a girlfriend. Gosh, I had a good day yesterday. I was reading books. I was met a girlfriend, had my nails done. There was other stuff in there, but I think for me, and especially from the emotional point of view, balance is what I need. I really need the balance. I mean, some people sort of do it right. Oh, I'm going to have a work orientated day on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I'm going to have a self-care day, or whatever. You do whatever knocks you out. But the point is that it's got to be what suits you. Some people sort of, if they've got kids, it's like, well, you're lucky if you've got sort of, 10 minutes every hour. If I can even find that, that's a bonus. That's fine, but find out what works for you. So it could be, if you've got sort of 10 minutes, just break it down and, okay, well, do you want to sort of go outside and just stand there with a cup of tea or whatever it is? Or do you want, do you need to just read a book flick through a magazine if you can't even get into a book? I mean, when my kids were little, I don't even think I read a book for ages. Why? Because I didn't allow myself the time. But it's all those things. It's maybe you've got a passion project, maybe there's stuff that really lights your fire, maybe you just whatever it is, whatever floats your boat, get out into nature, do the things that you love, and do it with people that you love, and then that's pretty cool. You're ticking many boxes there. And then the spiritual side, again, this is all sort of personal stuff, but you know, it could be prayer, it could be meditation, it could be connecting with the universe, it could be getting out into nature, it could whatever just makes maybe the world stop spinning at such a frenetic rate. But you'll know what those things are for you. You know, it's different for each and every one of us, but I think the trick is going to each of those rooms, even if it's 1 or 2 minutes a day. And it might be something that you have to do last thing at night, and it's just, you know, go upstairs to bed 10 minutes early. I know the kids have gone up to bed and you think, oh my God, I've suddenly got alone time and I'm just going to sit in sort of, you know, in a stupor in front of Netflix. But if you can pull yourself back, maybe set something on your alarm and just go up to bed 10 minutes early, maybe do some journaling, get rid of all that rubbish in your head so you will sleep better. Maybe do your gratitude list then. Thank you for what happened today. Thank you for, you know, and it just helps you just unload and unwind, and it gives you that little bit of space that we crave, especially when we are parents spinning all those plates.
So one of the questions is, so they know they need to make time for themselves, they know, you know, what it is they need to do, they just can't quite be disciplined enough to do it regularly enough to benefit from it. Okay. So it's like how can they, you know, how do they make it a discipline? How can they be on it, so to speak?
And do you know what, I'm still finding that, and I'm a bit like that with exercise, and what I have learned is I need to literally put it in my diary, and so it's, you know, if I have stuff in my diary, it usually gets done because it's work and it's really important, or I've got to go and collect mum from a dentist appointment, or I've got to take the kids here, there and everywhere, or I've got to submit this report for my boss, or whatever it is. And so it gets done. So we need to put us in the diary as well. So the trick might be, now, I mean, I'm not saying be one of these people that gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to have those extra 2 hours so that you can be at Zen with yourself. I don't mean that, because that's just not realistic. It's great for some people. Never quite worked for me. I did try it, and I think it lasted about 3 days and I was knackered.
It just makes you feel bad, doesn't it?
Exactly. So I think the trick is, you know, for me, it's putting it in my diary. For me, it's just trying to sort of work out, you know, sort of how to make sure I can get those little pockets. And so I literally do. So I set an alarm in my phone. And what I now do is, okay, for exercise, I now do, well, Mondays I do this, Tuesdays I do this. And the great thing is that, okay, Saturdays and Sundays are my freer days. Those are my cardio days, because those are the days I need to take a little bit more time. There's on Tuesday, I think I do sort of literally about a 5-minute core workout. Well, Cai, that might not be any good. That's not going to sort of work out your muffin top. But I tell you what, it's 5 minutes more than I've been doing for the last 3 weeks or 3 months or whatever. So, and the thing is when you start doing it, you suddenly realize, oh, okay, this is okay. It might turn into 5 minutes. It might turn into 15 minutes. I mean, bravo if it does. But it's just the very fact of making sure that this is a non-negotiable. So if you decide, I need to find space in my world and I need to meditate, I'm not going to say, oh, right, okay, well, the best meditation on YouTube is 1.5 hours long and you need to sit like this. No. I'm going to say, oh, if you're going to think about meditating, see if you can grab 2 minutes a day. Well, yeah, I actually could do that. There's actually no excuse. It could even be whilst I'm brushing my teeth. Do you know what I mean? But it is making them absolute deal breakers that you can't. I mean, there's no point wriggling out of it, because by the time you've made the excuse, it's over anyway. And it's building those tiny steps in, and then you actually start seeing the benefits, and then they start getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. So put it in your diary and make it a non-negotiable. And if you, I mean, if like me, you sort of think, right, okay, well, I need to have a reward at the end of this, but, you know, by the end of the week, or have an accountability buddy or whatever it is, and say to someone, I'm going to be doing this. Will you check up on me? Or will you do it with me? Or whatever. It's just making it a priority, but let's not make it, I'm not even saying put 15, 20, 30 minutes to it. I'm saying start off with 2 or 3 minutes, because then there's no excuse and you will start seeing the benefits. You will start saying, oh my gosh, I didn't actually shout that time. That's a bonus. And you'll start being able to connect the dots, that it's because you are slowly reclaiming a bit of yourself and you are slowly just putting yourself back on that agenda.
And I love that it doesn't have to be very long. So the whole box breathing, that, because sometimes I put a reminder on my phone just to do it 3 times a day. So I just put my hands on my heart, and I don't even do it for 2 minutes. I just do it like a couple of cycles, and then that's like magic. It's just like I get perspective. It's just oh, okay, I can do whatever it is.
Totally. Maybe every time you boil the kettle, rather than doing it, just stand there. And the thing is, what I've learned, what my head now does, is it even hears the word box breathing and it goes, oh, we're in for a treat now, okay. And I can feel myself relaxing before I even start it. It's like when you're a concert pianist, if anyone is, if you do your scales, you get better at it. So the more you practice, the better you will become at doing this sort of stuff.
And it's like an amazing doorway into everything else, because somehow it allows other things to come, doesn't it? Allows you to think about yourself, being more self-aware, allows yourself to go, oh, I'm allowed to do that. I'll do that. I will take action.
Baby steps, isn't it? You know, it's allowing yourself, well, you know, I've got all this stuff to do, but yeah, actually I could find 2 minutes here. So it could be 2 minutes for the physical, I don't know, 2 minutes of hula hoop, 2 minutes of jumping jacks, 2 minutes of whatever, 2 minutes, you know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be cardio. It just could be 2 minutes of stretch, but whatever it is. And then the, you know, the mental, and it could be just reading an article or finding quotes that sort of buoy you up a bit and make you feel better. And then 2 minutes of the emotional, could be picking up the phone and chatting to someone, you know, doing a video call with them. That's what I do, because my kids have flown the nest. So I do a sort of quick, you know, are you free? And they sort of, they've got to learn that actually she's not going to sit there and grill us and speak to us forever. It's just going to be a quick, everything okay? Yeah, good, fine. And, you know, and then 2 minutes of the spiritual. So just, that's not very much, for flip's sake. You know, so it's building that into your day and giving yourself that little piece of me time. And they can be little pockets throughout the day, which are easier to find than one big, right, I'm going to change the world with this new regime, because let's be realistic, it's not likely to work first time.
Yeah, so we've got a few minutes, and I'm going to ask you one of the biggest questions. Are you ready for it? So the question is, and quite a few parents have said this, so what can I do to stay calm and not react negatively when I have a screaming teenager in my face?
Hello, box breathing. Seriously, because they can't see that you're doing it. You know, I mean, you could just sort of go, give me 5, walk out of the room, and, you know, and then sort of come back in. But box breathing is a great way to start. But what I would suggest is we need to walk a mile in each other's shoes, really, don't we? We need to just understand where your child's coming from. What is it that is going on in their life that is making them press your buttons? Because when we look at other people, we need to remember that, seriously, and you know, 99.9% of the time, our actions and our thoughts are really, there is always a positive intention behind it. So what is your child's positive intention for? Are they tired? Are they hungry? Are they stressed? Are they cross with themselves, but they need to take it out on you? So it's a matter of working out what the message is behind. A lot of the time, our kids are looking for our attention. And, you know, and this is sort of speaking from experience, is that the good kids don't get as much attention as the bad kids, because we're sort of thinking, oh no, she's okay now, that's absolutely fine, I don't have to worry about her, but she is actually a bit of a handful and I need to keep an eye on her, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. So it's what's going on behind all this, and you know, so it's, what is the positive intention? Are they looking for your attention? Are they looking for reassurance? Are they needing support and guidance? And so rather than, and it is really, really easy when someone, everyone comes at it from a point of, they've got to hear my point of view. And really what you want is a win-win. Really what you want is for your child to stop shouting, and sort of for you to work out what's going on with them and support them. I have a formula called E plus R equals O. Now, E is the event. Now, that event could be Mom, or it could be or it could be your report's not in big enough, or your grades are dropping, or it could be, I don't know, someone's just dinged your car, or you've just spilt your coffee over the keyboard, or whatever it is. That is the event. That is something that happens. R is your response to that. So how you react to it. Because E plus R, that event plus your response, is the outcome that you are going to get. So if your child is sort of behaving badly, yelling at you, playing hooky from school, doing all the stuff that sends you over the edge, press the pause button. Yes, I do mean box breathing. As you said, Esther, it doesn't even have to, you know, just 1 or 2 cycles is enough for you to just push the pause button. But then it's a matter of, right, how am I going to react to this? Because if your child is yelling at you and you turn around and go la, 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 back, then nothing's really going to resolve. It's just going to get louder and louder, and then someone's going to walk away and slam the doors. So it's a matter of stop, pause, how do I react to this? And I mean, I've done it, and I've sort of turned around and go, what's going on here? And then you know, my child sort of pulled back, looked at me and burst into tears. I've just had an awful day at school. Oh, right, okay, come on, tea and toast, and let's work this one out. And so it's how you react to that. So it's pressing the pause and standing for a second, if you can, in your child's shoes and going, what do they need? Because that is you're needing a better outcome. You really want a win-win. You need to be able to diffuse the situation, because, sorry guys, we're the grown-ups here. So it's up to us to take responsibility and take our lead. Because if, again, what message are you telling your kids? If they come up to you, press your buttons, and we all go, that is how they are going to learn to resolve conflict. So it's a matter of, no, just stop. Hang on a minute. Do you need to sit down? Do you need time out? What do you need from me? How can I support you here? And that, I've so many times, I mean, my kids now sort of go, oh, here she goes. Have a nice support. But what it means is that it shows our kids that we've got their back rather than being on their back. And they are going to kick off with us more than anyone else. They're probably charming outside of the house, but inside of the home, they could be, this is their sanctuary. They've had a lot going on. I mean, I know we have, but they've had a lot going on with COVID and everything. And we need to teach them self-care. We need to teach them that you've had a topsy-turvy. I mean, you know, we were sort of saying, yeah, it's nearly been 2 years of topsy-turviness. And you know, we even if you look at our education system, where we've said to our kids all along, do this, you'll do well. Do this and you'll do well. Do this and you'll get a good job. Do this. And then sort of suddenly we turn around and go, oh no, we haven't been here before. We've no idea what's going on. Don't ask us. You know, we're not even going to give you the normal exams. And our kids are going, who the flip's leading us here? Yeah. We don't know what's going on. So they're all over the place, and their brains hate change as much as ours do, you know, and we need to reassure them. So when your kids are yelling, being tricky, being stroppy teenagers, yes, it could be hormones, then they need TLC. Yes, it could be button pushing. Are they scared? Are they, you know, what's going on? Because all we have to do is just press pause for that short minute before we react. And if their behavior is unacceptable, they need to know the boundaries. Of course they do. And he's, listen, sweetheart, I can't be spoken to like this. Just go and disappear, sort your head out and come back to me and we'll sort it out in about 10 minutes or at the end of the day or whatever. So I'm not saying we have to roll over and accept bad behavior, but if we start understanding where it's coming from, that's a pretty, I mean, you know, as I turned the tables with that young girl I was saying about the dishwasher, it's just getting a different perspective on things. And it's understanding someone else's needs and going, oh my gosh, because when you know someone else's needs, it pays in spades. It works really well.
Cool. Thank you so
Esther, thank you so much for this opportunity. It was lovely to speak to you guys.
Thank you, Cai. Thank you, Cai. Take care. Bye.